have a very clear mandate within the HKDMA, and our mandate is very much to ensure that we help digital marketing professionals as well as companies make the best use of digital. That's a very broad mandate, but there are a few things that we want to cover initially, and it's mainly to do with issues that we're facing as an industry. I think the first one would be making sure we set standards and measurement. I think that's very clear. Without clear standards and measurements, we're all measuring, by different type of segments, and I don't think that's the way forward if we're about to become the largest segment in terms of a platform for advertising. Number two is also talent development. We're all in the industry where we're facing a shortage of talent. And once again, we want to collectively make sure that we grow the talent pool for the next generation of people that come online, and make sure that digital advertising and digital marketing becomes a very attractive pool, becomes a very attractive industry for talent to join us in the future. And the third is number three, we want to make sure that we're working very closely with all the brands who are investing increasing amounts of dollars. People I've spoken to have said, clients that I've spoken to have said that they're going to spend up to 50% of their digital budgets. We want to make sure that we're addressing challenges that they're having, issues that they're having, that's preventing them from spending more than 50%.
So if they are targeting to women of whatever certain age group who like certain product, so that's what they want. They want to reach the audience that they're trying to deliver the message of promote a product, and they want to see engagement to their brand or to their message. And that's what we are looking to do, is really to try to be a matchmaker that match what the advertiser or marketing is looking for from our audience base, which is very broad. Yeah.
Is to, how do we understand the customer, and how do we reach them when they're thinking about RTA? We don't want to reach them when they're thinking about other things. Like when they're thinking about what bar or restaurant to visit, new place to go on the weekend, they see a RTA bridal ad. Like that's not what we want. We want it to be when they're planning their wedding and thinking of all these things, then the bridal ad pops up naturally in their news feed or in the splash ad and things like that. So.
And I feel Hong Kong is really lag behind in terms of the digital development. So when I talk to people overseas, in the US, and even in Taiwan or China, I mean, they are actually a lot more advanced. So it's very important for us to just make it happen faster.
Well, the obstacle really is, I think the audience is moving faster than the advertiser, if I'm allowed to say so. Indeed, nowadays, when you look at the media consumption, a lot of people's habit already moved to digital. But whereas the spending hasn't actually been reflected in such a way. So I think the obstacle really is the education, the learning of the marketer, the practitioner, how to actually utilize digital to make sure that they get the best out of digital community. Well, I don't think they have to go in a linear way. In fact, a lot of those experience sharing or the other market that has done in many of the campaign would be a good starting point, so that we don't have to follow step by step on the evolution of digital. But you can actually look at the previous experience and jumpstart into a quick start. So the important thing is really to put digital in the center of the campaign. So I think that would speed up the evolution and speed up the process of learning and catching up with the audience.
Clearly, a lot of the advertisers are still using the traditional or television approach to deploy the resources that are available on the digital platform, and that's not necessarily the most effective ways of approaching it. So that's why we think that by addressing that gap, by giving them the knowledge, by giving them the tools that are available in the industry, by pulling in data and insights from various founding members, that will help the advertisers to take the leap forward to bridge that knowledge gap.
I think it's beyond data. What we try and do with our advertisers, to your point about education, it's insight. So what we try and do as Google, because we have all this power of all of the information that we collect, we do very deep analyses around how consumers are operating today, which particular verticals, and what are their behaviours. And then what we do is we produce very detailed reports for our clients to inform them how they'll get the best out of their marketing dollars. So we recently had a case study which is about to be launched, and it's about a hair care product where they actually thought the key insight was about damage to hair. when we analysed the search terms and the top search terms, we actually realised it was more about fashion and hairstyle. So that insight actually informed their campaign. And when we look at the results of that campaign, we're getting a 2x or a 3x improvement on that campaign versus the way that they'd traditionally gone to market with their brand proposition.
Looking into right now, the DMA setup, we always say this is an IAB-alike body, where the major functions of IAB is really setting up the standard. Like when we talk about mobile, what is in-view for mobile? It's difficult to actually say anything as in-view in mobile. Mobile is so quick, people just swap, and you don't really know how much to stay on this specific video or graphic or advertising. So we need a standard that people can communicate. When also say, let's say mobile GRP. What is a mobile GRP? GRP has a TV terms, is a TV measurement. But when traditional advertisers, when they want to understand mobile in a TV way, someone needs to take the lead. All right, if we interpret mobile in a TV way, what is the GRP on the mobile situations? So these are the questions similar to what we try to address for Hong Kong market.
Yes, Hong Kong has generally lagged behind in terms of other markets, even within Asia. I think what has really lagged behind is the sense of awareness, which I think is changing. I think, in today's world, no one's really asking any of us in the industry about why they should advertise online. But I think what's more important is how they measure the effectiveness. TV, for example, has been around, and there has been set measurements and standards that they're familiar with. Whereas digital, there's a new measurement standard that comes up every other day. And I think what's important is for us to help advertisers understand either their ROI, whether it's a performance campaign or a brand campaign. So number one is awareness. Number two is obviously, in terms of how they measure the return on their investment. And I think number three, it's also the fear of getting into something new. And I think that's what the DMA wants to do, is to help clients not be afraid of digital, because not only is it not really difficult, it is actually not that scary at all. And I think from the very senior management level up to sort of an execution level, our goal is to make sure we help people understand, this digital advertising platform that some of them might be very afraid of.